Welcome to Wings of Advanced Education and Research Organization. Today we are going to see dynamic stability of an aircraft. The dynamic stability of an aircraft refers to how the aircraft behaves after it has been disturbed following steady non-oscillating flight. They are classified into two types, namely, longitudinal modes and lateral directional modes. The longitudinal modes: phagoid, longer period, oscillations. Short period oscillations. The lateral directional modes: roll subsidence mode, Dutch roll mode, spiral divergence. Longitudinal modes. Oscillating motions can be described by two parameters: the period of time required for one complete oscillation, and the time required to damp to half amplitude, or the time to double the amplitude for a dynamically unstable motion. Phagoid mode. The longer period mode, called the phagoid mode, is the one in which there is a large amplitude variation of airspeed, pitch angle, and altitude, but almost no angle of attack variation. Typically the period is 20 seconds to 60 seconds. Short period mode. The short period mode is a usually heavily damped oscillation with a period of only a few seconds. The motion is a rapid pitching of the aircraft about the center of gravity. The time to damp the amplitude to 1/2 of its value is usually on the order of 1 second. Lateral directional modes. Lateral directional modes involve rolling motions and yawing motions. Motions in one of these axes almost always couples into the others, so the modes are generally discussed as the lateral directional modes. There are three types of possible lateral directional dynamic motion: roll subsidence mode, spiral mode, and Dutch roll mode. Roll subsidence mode. Roll subsidence mode is simply the damping of rolling motion. There is no direct aerodynamic moment created tending to directly restore wings level, i.e. there is no returning spring force/moment proportional to roll angle. This prevents large roll rates from building up when roll control inputs are made, or it damps the roll rate, not the angle, to zero when there are no roll control inputs. Roll mode can be improved by dihedral effects coming from design characteristics, such as high wings, dihedral angles, or sweep angles. Dutch roll mode. The second lateral motion is an oscillatory combined roll and yaw motion called Dutch roll, perhaps because of its similarity to an ice skating motion of the same name made by Dutch skaters. The Dutch roll may be described as a yaw and roll to the right, followed by a recovery towards the equilibrium condition, then an overshooting of this condition and a yaw and roll to the left, then back past the equilibrium attitude, and so on. The period is usually on the order of 3–15 seconds, but it can vary from a few seconds for light aircraft to a minute or more for airliners. Spiral divergence. Spiraling is inherent. Most aircraft trimmed for straight and level flight, if flown stick-fixed, will eventually develop a tightening spiral dive. If a spiral dive is entered unintentionally, the result can be fatal. A spiral dive is not a spin. It starts, not with a stall or from torque but with a random, increasing roll and airspeed. Without prompt intervention by the pilot, this can lead to structural failure of the airframe, either as a result of excess aerodynamic loading or flight into terrain. The aircraft initially gives little indication that anything has changed. Euler angles. Three-angle orientation expressed by sequence of three orthogonal single-angle rotations. Body attitude measured with respect to inertial frame. Euler angles are typically denoted as alpha, beta, gamma or phi, theta, si. It is divided in two groups, proper Euler angles. Proper Euler angles use the same axis for both the first and third elemental rotations. Tate-Bryan angles. Tate-Bryan angles represent rotations about three distinct axes. Equations of motion. Dutch roll is a handling mode, analogous to the short period pitch oscillation. Any effect it might have on the trajectory may be ignored. The body rate R is made up of the rate of change of side slip angle and the rate of turn. Taking the latter as zero, assuming no effect on the trajectory, for the limited purpose of studying the Dutch roll, d beta divided by dt equals minus R. The yaw and roll equations, with the stability derivatives become c dr divided by dt minus e dp divided by dt equals n suffix beta into beta minus n suffix r d beta divided by dt plus n suffix pp, yaw. AdP divided by dt minus edr divided by dt equals L suffix beta into beta minus L suffix r d beta divided by dt plus L suffix pp, roll. The equation for roll rate is identical. But the roll angle, phi, is given by d phi divided by dt equals p. If p is a damped simple harmonic motion, so is phi, but the roll must be in quadrature with the roll rate, and hence with the side slip. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe Wings of Aero YouTube channel. Also press the bell icon to get instant notification.